Welcome, it's Morning Motivation with AthinaElaiya. Thank you for joining us. It's always a blessing to have you on our channel, where it's our mission to share a piece of forever together. The look of the week is provided by Jessica's Body Boutique. Lipstick and lip gloss provided by High Maintenance. Welcome, it's Morning Motivation with AthinaElaiya. Thank you for joining us. And I have an amazing, beautiful woman who is my friend and who I love and adore. She is a medium, a psychic, and a healer. So we're gonna get into all of that. Cannot wait. And this is Lizbeth. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. I love that you, I love you.
Thank you.
Let me just start there. Absolutely. Thank you for being here. I've wanted you on here since I started the show. And before I get into your questions, I just want to give a short story to the audience where you gave me flowers for starting the show. Me and Lizbeth have a show, and it's her show, and she asked me to be the co-star for it with her. And so it's called Goddess Hour, and we do this show once or twice every month or something like that. It happens usually once every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And she asked me to be on the show and did a whole show on me starting my show. And I just really want to thank you and honor you for doing that for me, because it was really special. And it really, really touched my heart, because it was just so much love and it was so genuine and so authentic.
Of course, it's always supporting you and what you do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. So I just want to return that and give you your flowers, and I just want to return that for you. And the thing is, even if you didn't do that, you were already going to be on my show. So period.
Thanks, sis. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. So I want to jump right into, what events do you believe led you into becoming a medium? Let's just start there.
Yeah, so basically, I didn't find my spiritual gift until I moved to New York City, which was in 2011. But I didn't find it until 2014. But before that, I had been having lots of issues with relationships and stuff like that with my exes, and I'd pretty much see psychics a lot, and most of the time they were wrong about stuff. Sometimes they were right. Sometimes, most of the time, it wasn't anything that was super memorable. And then when I moved to New York in 2011, I also started dabbling in that, and I just was having a lot of relationship issues with my partner at that time, and I felt like I was just questioning. It would be weird because there would be psychic people following me in the city and telling me stuff about my relationship, and they were actually on point, and I'd be like, what the heck? And so I was like, why is it that some people can, have this gift and others can't? What is that about? You know what I mean? And so I went to meetup.com. This was in 2014. I went to randomly just went to meetup.com, and I found a class that was come and practice your spiritual gifts, your psychic gifts. And so I just took the leap and I started taking the class. And right away I connected with my teacher, and I just kept going to those classes, and she really believed in me, and she kept pushing me to evolve. And so I did that. But to answer your question fully, is just a series of mishaps, a series of toxic relationships that I just needed clarity with, and I was kind of desperate to find answers to my patterns. And also, I wanted to say that I've always had a creative spirit, and I feel that this aspect of who I am, a psychic person, is part of my creative spirit. So yeah, that's how I basically got to that. So I started in 2014 fully, really immersing myself into growing myself into this realm.
Amazing. That's huge. So do you believe that everyone has these gifts to a certain extent, or do you feel that it's very specific to certain people? What's your opinion on that?
I believe everybody has these gifts. It's just that we have been conditioned by the world and by society to like have a certain type of perspective, or but not perspective, it's more like blocking it. You know what I'm saying? Because we're so caught up in everyday life. But we all have like an intuitive gift. Like, and I wouldn't even say, I just feel like it's part of who we are. It's just been suppressed. Because there's a lot of stories where people are like, I had a gut feeling, I knew, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could see, like, I knew that that was going to happen. Or like, you hear stories of people saying like, I felt that I shouldn't have gone that way and I went anyways, and I got like something bad happened. You know what I'm saying? Or like, I felt this way and I just kind of like trusted that, and it didn't happen. Like, I was safe. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we all I believe we all have this gift, and we just have to believe in that, and also have an open mind to like not using so much of our logic brain, more of our like emotion, feelings, and emotion in a certain way, not reactive, but just more like openness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. Not being reactive, but staying open. Do you feel
Yeah.
like, how do you feel like you have accomplished that in your life? How do you feel like what's your process when it comes to staying open, but not being extremely vulnerable to people that might, you know, um, kind of be maybe, what's the right word I want to use? Because there's some people in this industry that will kind of use those emotions against us, right? So like, what do
Scammers.
you, exactly, scammers, scammer. But yeah, so like, what do you think? What do you think is the significant difference between, not being taken advantage of, but really like being able to trust that someone is really caring for what it is that whatever it is, like whether it's a relationship, a friendship, about work, people get tarot readings and stuff like that about anything. So like, what do you think makes the difference?
I think that for me, the way that was looking for stuff, like looking for people, I just kind of like had to like test out the waters, especially when I was like beginning. You know what I'm saying? Um, that you can tell. I can't speak for everybody, but I've heard clients of mine say like, I knew that this person was lying to me, and I asked for my money back. Or they'll say stuff like, oh, I could take this demon off of you if you buy like all these candles, and I'll do a ritual for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to cost you like $600. Like, I would be very weary of that. For me and what I do, I come up with solutions. I try to come up with solutions with energetic, methods and stuff like that. And I'm not the type of person that's going to be like, hey, you have to pay me like $600 in order for me to pray for you, and put like a note in a box and be like, hey, you're healed now, heal her spirit. You know what I'm saying? That's not the way that I work. I have a bigger, this life chose me. I didn't choose it. And I know that's kind of cliche, but it really is true. Because, you know, I've been pretty like, I don't have a lot of friends. I never had a lot of friends. My group of friends is like small, and I'm very like weary. I don't know, at the time I wasn't very trusting of people. And, you have to kind of put your, blinders up and stuff to a certain extent. But, but I started, like, when people start crying and start saying like, how did you know that? Or like, my dad passed away, and I'll be like channeling their father, and they'll be like, oh my God, like nobody knows that. Like, how did you have a special gift? Things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And when you start emoting like these feelings out of people, and they start crying and they start feeling like relieved, like start feeling some kind of like, just, it's all about emotion. And like, when you're able to tap into that, but like on a truthful, like honest, authentic level, then then you can be like, for me, when I was first starting, that's what kept happening for me. And so I was like, this is not anything to be playing around with. You know what I'm saying? Because people are really out here looking for healing, and there's a lot of trauma in people, and there's a lot of people that are lost, within society and the world. Just a lot. I see a lot of people that have, some problems with love, problems with family, problems with just job. And, it's a variety, it's a spectrum of things, but they get like very, not confident, or like scared, fear. You know what I'm saying? And and so like my job, because as I was growing into my experience, growing into my journey, within my gift, I just felt like spirit was telling me like, don't be playing with people like that. You know what I'm saying? Because this is a real thing, and my job that I've been told through my higher self, through God, universe, goddess, whatever you want to call the energy, is just like, you're supposed to be here to help people like find themselves in a way, you know what I'm saying? Authenticate themselves, calm their fears, like help guide them and things like that. And the way that things are going on in the world right now, I think that's very important for people that are in this quote unquote profession, if that's what you want to call it, that they take it like seriously, because we want to help. I want to help people, like help them figure out their lives in a way that can help them evolve. And when you do that, when you're a helpful person for people, and help them find their voice and authenticity, you're able to also heal the world, because that frequency in the body of the person is a frequency that's part of the earth. So imagine like people walking around with all this trauma, and that's a vibration. You know what I'm saying? It's a vibration that the earth feels as well. So when you get a group of people that are all in that vibration, it's just like this whole, vibe that's the world is just kind of like all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so our society is based on fear, and our society is focused based off trauma. So we're not even in alignment with each other to be able to evolve to a certain way that we can actually evolve as a species, and help the world heal naturally. Do you know what I'm saying? Like heal the forest, heal the air. It's all connectivity. It's all connectivity. So my spirit told me like, you have to like, I don't have to do anything, I have free will, but my spirit said it's in your best interest to help people find their voice through this work. So I know I kind of went on a tangent, but
No, you're not on a tangent at all. You're giving us
yeah,
exactly what we need.
yeah, basically just, be wary of people that are trying to tell you like, oh, you have to pay me $700 for me to pray for you with this white candle. Like I wouldn't trust that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that. And that was really good. That was that was good. So talk to me about your mentors and what that did for you and how that affected you, and really just how it shifted you into really taking this serious, because I know that you having a mentor really really affected you and like really pushed you forward. And so I would love to hear about that, mainly because people don't really always want to have a mentor, and I think that having a mentor in whatever aspect is so powerful. And I really wish that, because it's a society thing, right? Like back in the day, people respected their mentors and their ancestors so heavy. And it's like, we have to almost remind people to do that nowadays. And it's like, that's not normal for me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, what did that do for you, having a mentor and really trusting someone and someone believing in you?
Yeah, actually it did a lot for me. I had actually searched for a class, and that's how I found my mentor, was because this lady, her name is Melissa White Stamps. I'm gonna give her a shout out because she's really good. She's based out of New York City. Um, she had these classes. She literally was teaching us how to channel for like $20 for like 3 hours. And, at that time I was like, okay, like, but I was blessed enough to run into her, because at the beginning she like saw something in me, and she was like really like adamant about like, don't stop, like you're really really good at what you do, you just have to like keep coming to class, like, like she just like really made me feel safe. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? Like she made me
mm,
feel like she saw in me what I was like not able to see past a certain point. Do you know what I'm saying? And there was just one time I remember when I could channel people that have crossed over. I can do that. And the first class that I had taken with her with that, I was like really freaked out about it, because I'm like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know like if I should be doing this. This is like the devil, and you know what I'm saying? Like Satan type of things. But it really wasn't. It was more just like people want closure from their loved ones that have crossed over, because they have like immense pain from the loss of that person. So sometimes they need like messages to let them know like it's okay, or they want like healing messages, like to help them like heal through trauma that spirit caused. Like I had a event this weekend where that was the case with this woman, and her dad was like a certain way, and she just wanted closure from that. You know what I'm saying? But my teacher, like she really pushed me and not being afraid of like doing that and learning these skills, because she saw something in me. And I think the importance of having somebody that sees you past what you can see for yourself is like very vital, because you can't do it by yourself. Sometimes you need teachers to help evolve you and teach you these skills, you know?
I was literally just saying that to my assistant. I was literally saying we cannot do anything alone.
Right.
She was
I
like,
mean, you
do
can to
you
a
do
certain
you think? Yeah, but like it's so hard. Like
but
it's just
but
so
when
much
it comes to
harder.
evolving, yeah, it's like we need community, we need support. And I think that's something that we don't really pay attention to, like the support aspect of it. Like we just want to take everything on our shoulders and stuff like that. But my teacher was like so adamant about me continuing. And every now and then I drop in her class, because sometimes she's having online classes, and she's just like, oh my God, like I believe in you. You know what I'm saying? And I would bring my friends into circles. Like in New York, I'd bring my friends into circles, and we would practice on my friends that are just like, they're not into that. But I remember one of my friends, I was really close to him, and he was like kind of lost, and I brought him in, and everybody was just reading him, and he was like really into his fashion career. And we were just like, you're gonna make it, like, like we're just like totally reading him and like really, really like telling him like what's gonna happen for him. And that was about like in 2015. And now he's like there. You know what I'm saying? Like now he's like really like up on that. And I look back at that because I was like literally just a student, and I'm like, damn, I really read that for him, and I'm glad that he was able to evolve himself to that level. And if I had anything to do that with that, great. But if I didn't, then I didn't. But at the same time, just for us to be projecting that, and having a guide to like guide us and tell us yes, no, like, it's so important for us to like have these mentor people, especially when we're learning something new, because like you don't know, you know what I'm saying? You don't know what you don't know. And it's very good to have somebody that's been in a certain industry that you're in for like years and years and years, you know what I'm saying? Because they'll know the ups and downs, they'll know the pitfalls, and they can guide you in that, and give you advice.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, we need that. Like everyone needs a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
So my next question is, what do you feel like pushed you into the healer stage? Because what I'm like also hearing from you very clearly, like as an undertone, is that everyone needs healing. And so uh, underneath of being a medium and a psychic is, you know, you're really just wanting to heal people. And
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like, how do you get into healing the trauma with people and helping them process their things, which is not always so quite, it's not always about reading people. It's also
Mm-hmm.
about like dealing with the process of people's trauma, which is also kind of like being a therapist.
Right.
So, like, how do you balance that out? Like, where do you fit in there? Like, I mean, I know that
Yeah.
it all rounds in, but I'm just curious to hear where you fit that in.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm not a therapist. And I want to put that out there because I don't have my license in that. And I tell that to my clients as well. But my clients do come to me to exhale on some things, because they feel that I'm a person that they can exhale certain things to, that will make them see things in a different manner from a therapist, a psychologist, because psychologists are very by the book, depending on where you go. And I'm more like, I'm a realist, but I have a mystical outlook on this, on the trauma.
For sure.
Um, And I think the first step is being aware of it, because a lot of the time we're not even aware. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not even aware that we just keep going, and we just keep going, and we're just like, we don't look back because it's too scary back there. And when you don't look back, it causes pain in your body. It causes a lot of it can cause a lot of pitfalls. It can cause a lot of mental health issues, because you're pushing it away, but it's kind of like tapping you, like, hey, pay attention to me, pay attention to my inner child, because your inner child was abused, and you just want to run away from that. But if you're able to like face it, basically, when the clients come to me, if that's the first thing that I pick up, because they'll come to me like, why can't I find love, or why is my career going, like, why is my life all in shambles and stuff like that, and the first thing I'll pick up with them, sometimes, is childhood trauma, childhood abuse, raising yourself by yourself as a kid. Dad was never around, things of that nature, and they will agree and say like, yes, that did happen to me. And so the way that I help them through that is being like, telling them like, you have to face that, you have to accept it. I think it's more like the acceptance aspect of, yes, that happened to me, and it's not my fault. I was a child, and how am I supposed to know? How am I supposed to know how to feed myself when my mom was out in the streets, or, what I'm saying, like, off with like random men and stuff like that? How am I, and they blame themselves, and that causes blockages, like moving forward in your life, because yes, you can achieve all of these great things and all this money and this wonderful career, but you're not happy. And I think, like, I've had clients come to me, a lot of the issues is like not having support, not having somebody believe in you, and you just have to figure it out by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all walking entities, we're all walking energies around here with that vibration, and we're not happy, we're not at peace. So they come to me and they ask me like these questions, and I tell them like, you should face it, cry. Like sometimes people don't cry. Like some people, they just hold it in. And I'm like, crying is actually like healing waters. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody had told me that the other day, and I'm running with that, because I'm like, yes, that's really what it is. It takes a lot of weight off of your shoulders.
Yeah.
So I think like for me, it was just telling them what I see, what I feel for them, and then accepting. Like some people will accept it, and some people, they just do whatever they want, and that's fine, that's up to them. But I see what I see, and my job is, I take my job very seriously, because I'm like, every person that comes to me matters. Like every person that comes to me is excited to see me, and they want clarity, and they want guidance. And if that's part of that, the trauma is part of that, then this is what you can do. I just give them solutions to help guide them through that. But it takes time. It's not something that's just going to be like, okay, I came to see her, now I'm healed. No, it's like you got to do some inner work, and you got to like love your inner child, and you have to like take the steps necessary to like do mental health practices that are healthy for you, that are going to help you be at peace, you know?
Absolutely.
But the thing is, like, the acceptance part of like what happened, that's a big one, because once you accept it, you can release it. It doesn't hold
Preach.
you hostage. It doesn't hold you hostage anymore. So that's like one of the big, like, methods, breakthroughs.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally believe in that. One thing that I've learned over this year is to respect the way I feel. So it's
Yes.
literally exactly what you're talking about right now. I legitimately will acknowledge every moment that I have, like every feeling that I have. I mean, every moment I have a chance to do that, I do that. And I just honor it, and then I'm able to let it go versus like I used to be like, no, I'm just going to ignore that feeling. It's just like
Right.
so tragic because it's like, why are you keep doing that to yourself, right?
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Your feelings
So
definitely matter. Like
you
if you're
matter, your
the way
feelings
to be able,
matter.
yeah.
Yeah. So my last question before we end the show is I really want to know for you how you personally, not anyone else, I want to know how you personally was able to break through the the doubters and the cliches of what a medium is and a psychic, and how did you break through that window of potential judgment, and not even potential, but just judgment? People are always going to have kind of a judgmental perspective when you hear medium and psychic, and even sometimes healer, but even the word healer is not as scary as medium and psychic. So how did you break free from that?
Honestly, I don't feel like I had any like stigma attached to it. Like I just do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't inhale other people's judgments of what I do. If they doubt me, come see me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Come
come
see
see me.
about me. Come through.
Um,
Pull up
no,
on me.
but
Pull up on her.
no, but I don't really pay attention. I haven't really paid attention to that, to be honest with you. Like I just know what I know. I feel what I feel. I've seen what I've seen, and I've practiced what I've practiced. And I do my research. I read. I try to mix in like a scientific aspect to what I do,
You
because a lot of
always
people,
do. You don't try. You do that all the time. We do that all the time. We always bounce from spirituality to science and science to
right?
spirituality. Yeah.
Because people have logical brains. A lot of people have logical brains,
Yes.
and they want facts, they want research. And so it's important for me to keep myself together, up on game, up on the spiritual game, and mixed with science and physics, in order to explain certain methods, in order to explain certain research to them, so they can understand, like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Because if you're just going off like, oh, the spirit this and oh, the spirit that, and you know what I'm saying, some people are like, yeah, right, you know what I'm saying. But when it comes to solutions, when it comes to manifesting in your life, and when it comes to designing your life, redesigning your life, like there are scientific methods that you can use that will help you do that. And so, depending on the person, depending on how open they are, I will either use one or the other. Um, so in terms of like the stigma, like I haven't really ran into that, to be honest with you. Like I just, like I said, I do what I do. I own my gift. I own who I am, and I just keep moving forward. If people are always going to have opinions, you know what I'm saying? I have a lot of good reviews. Like all of my reviews are 5-star. Like, not that I just put that on my back, but I didn't expect that either. Um, but I have, my clients come back to me and they tell me, like, they like what I do. And so I just go with that. This is not, like I said, I didn't choose this life. This life really chose me, because like I was never, like, as a kid, I wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be a psychic when I grow up. Like, no, that just did not happen like that at all.
Okay, I know I said that was my last question, but I have one more question.
It's okay.
And this is it, and I promise this is it.
No
but
worries, that's fine.
I just want to talk about really quick how you actualized your like business, because I know that that's one thing that is a huge accomplishment for you, and it's also like something that I love for you, because it is really something that you're good at and it's genuine, and I've experienced you in that form. And so
Yeah.
and no one has to take me or your word about it, but there were certain things that you said to me that I don't talk about with people. And there was that one time, do you remember when I was in Chicago? And it was like one of our first times where we really caught up. And it was the first time that you were like, Athena, I think that this, and that. I mean, I don't want to say it out because it was just very personal, but remember I was in that place with all those windows and that, yeah, that was one of our first times, like really rekindling. And you were like, hey, can I tell you about something? And I was like, sure, I'm open. And I was just kind of blown away. I was like, oh, okay. Like,
oh, yeah.
I mean, I thought I was intuitive, but I was like, oh, wow,
Yeah.
like, this is nice. And I feel like that's one of the reasons that we really clicked and became, like, I think I really realized you were one of my spirit sisters at that moment.
Yeah.
And so I love that. But I really just want to know, like, what actualized that for you? Like, what was the moment when you was like, no, I need to make this a business. This is a real thing. I can make money off of it and do what I want. What was that motivation for you that like sealed the deal?
Yeah. So I have been practicing from 2014 to 2019, like working with people for free, like just helping people on my own, because I just didn't feel confident. Honestly, I'm gonna be authentic here. I was literally pushed to a corner, financially. So I was like, let me just start my business. You know what I'm saying? And so I just was like, okay, it's time. It's time. Like, how long are you gonna wait? You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of just decided, okay, and the name just came to me. My name is the Intuitive Goddess. it just came to me, and I really had to own that name, girl. Like I really did, because it's like, okay, who are you to say you're a goddess? Who are you to say you're intuitive? Like, who do you think you are? And it's just like, you know what? No, step into the name, step into it so you can manifest it and you can really help people. Like if you're going to use this name, you're going to embody the fullness of it. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And so I started it in 2019. Before that, I didn't feel comfortable because I just felt like I wasn't ready, and I wasn't about to sit here and scam people and be like, hey, you should pay me because and it was just kind of like a growing. I grew into it, and when the spirit just felt that I was ready, it pushes you in the corner and it's just like, okay, now's the time.
Yeah.
It's not now when.
Yeah.
So I started it in 2019, and it started off slow, and people started giving me like reviews. I didn't expect that. They find me on Yelp because I put my business on Yelp, and they kept on, giving me these reviews, and I'd be like, oh my God, okay, okay. And sometimes even I've been doing this for like 7 years or whatnot, over 7 years. I still surprised myself. You know what I'm saying? With the things that happen between me and clients.
Yeah,
I
and you
still
should,
surprise
because it's really
myself.
the spirit working through you. So you should
Yes,
be surprised often.
yes. So
Yes.
it's evolved piece by piece. At first it was just doing psychic readings, and then I started doing tarot, and now I'm doing tarot. And then I started creating products, which I love to do. I'm a designer as well, and so I started creating candles and started creating Palo Santo sticks and
Do
little
you
spiritual
have
kits.
any of those products with you that we can kind of just
I
like,
do, sis. So I've had many different varieties of candles, which I've sent to you. I've sent you like 3 different ones.
and I
Those are my
love
first.
them, and I love them. I got your first batch. Yes.
Yes,
And I'm still oppressed about this because I'm like, wait, I just have to take my time and everything has to be perfect.
right,
My house has to be
right.
perfectly clean. There can't be one spoon in
Yes,
the kitchen. Like, yeah. So I'm like,
yeah,
so I opened up one, which was the guidance one, but I don't want to open up
right.
the other two yet until other things,
Yes, and I've
they're
been
so
hearing that
special.
I've been hearing that from people that buy my products. Is like my candles specifically, is they'll be like, I don't want to burn it because it's so nice. I don't want to, and I told my partner about that, and he's like, that means that your products, it like means something. I put a lot of intention into what I do. I'm very particular with everything I do, when it comes to creating things, especially like art, my labels, my design. Like I did this. This is my Mayan candle. I don't know if you can see that,
I
but
love that one.
it'll be
Yeah.
on my website.
Yeah,
And it
it has
has,
the jade in there. I'm just
yes,
gonna tell everybody
yes.
it has jade in there. Can you tell people what the properties of
Um,
jade does for you?
yeah, give me a second. So this one I already burned, but you can see a little bit of jade. It has a whole bunch of jade in it. So it just burned down there. I think I left the other one in my backpack, but anyways, I created this candle for new beginnings. Jade is about new beginnings. Jade is about transformation. It's a Mayan candle. I'm Mexican, so like I try to like infuse my cultural ethnicity into my products as best as I can, because I have a lot of ancestor and strong, like my ancestors are indigenous, and I really try to tap into that when I'm creating things for people, and also just when I'm reading for people. So yeah, so I have candles like this. I did a Solange candle for guidance. This is my Solange candle
I
that I
love
did.
that holder. I love that outside color.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, and the labels I create by myself. I design everything. I have like little spiritual kits that I make. So this is like one of them, the Raven, which is all about guidance, and it just has a whole bunch of little things in it. It's a ritual kit. And then I have like Palo Santo sticks. So I have a variety of just different products that I make. So you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I love to make products. I realized that one of my things is like I really love creating things. I love to like put intent out into what I'm doing, with this type of stuff. It's another aspect of my business, and I love that I can do that for people. And if I wouldn't, if I always put myself in the shoes of like, would I buy it? You know what I'm saying? Like, would I purchase that? And then this is like my little rose oils that I made. I also have like this Mexican rose oil that I made as well. So it's just a variety of things. And I'm evolving as a small business owner, and trying to figure out like what works and what doesn't work. Everything is a test. It's an experiment most of the time to see like what sticks and what doesn't stick. And I feel like that's what, as a business owner, that's usually how it goes, depending on your business, of course. But when it comes to just like creating things, I just see what works for people, and people have taken a really strong liking to it. So I'm going to continue to do it. And it makes me
Yes.
happy. That's what it is. It just makes me happy, and it activates a frequency inside of me that I'm like, I like this frequency, and I'm just going to keep going.
Good. I love
And of course, my
that.
reading.
Yes, and I was gonna say, through your readings and through your, through your mediumship and your psychicship, I feel like everybody in the world has different experiences, and no, everyone won't believe in this path, but I think it's really
Right.
special when you can dive into yourself like what you're doing. You've divin? Is that dive in? Whatever.
I've dived
You
into myself.
you have dived. Let's get you have dived into yourself, seriously though, because like I really want people to get it, and it's really special that you want to help people at the end of the day. And underneath everything and above all, like the parts that we can't see that you're discussing is really that you want to help people and heal people. And
Yeah.
most of those people most of the people who are healers have been through so much,
Yeah. And
right?
the thing is, yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, that girl, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we know we moved past it. And my thing is like I love Earth. Like I'm a Virgo, I'm an Earth sign, so like I love Earth. I love nature. I love animals. I'm like such a softie for animals. And so for me, it's like let's heal the Earth through people. You know what I'm saying? Like Mother Nature is sitting here, the Earth is calling me to like do this, and so I'm going to do this through our species because it's important. It doesn't matter if it's just one person. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're able to just tap into it, like tap into their psyche in a way, like it can change a whole trajectory of events.
Yeah, it's powerful. The look of the week is provided by Jessica's Body Boutique. Lipstick and lip gloss provided by High Maintenance. I just want to thank you for what you do because I think it's incredible. And I just want you to drop your handles for the audience so that they can know where to find you. And if they do want your help and need your help, they can reach out to you or learn more about whatever it is that you're doing. So yeah, go ahead and drop those handles, girl.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is the Intuitive Goddess, and you can find my website. It's www.in like Nancy Tune Goddess.com, and that's where all of my services can be found. I do have a YouTube channel, but it's not really active, so I'm not going to plug that just yet. And I do have a TikTok. It's the Intuitive Goddess. So I'm trying to get on these social media apps and stuff, but that's a journey within itself. That's a whole nother
No, I think
thing
you
that
do a
has to
great job. You do a great job.
Yeah,
Girl,
so
you're on
I
Clubhouse
appreciate
and a
it.
bunch of stuff. So you're
Check out my
you're doing good.
Yeah, but check out my website though. That's where you'll find everything. And follow me on Instagram. I'm really active on there as much as I can be.
Yeah. Well, you guys, join my Instagram too. Go check it out at
Yes.
morningmotivation.ae. Also check out the website so you can see other amazing interviews like this one. And that is morningmotivationwithathena.com. All right. So thank you so much. I loved having you on here. It's such a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
I love all of the different ways that people can heal, and just thank you for doing what you do, girl.